Hello, Dr. Michelle Sands here from Glow Natural Medicine, and I am beyond excited today because we have an amazing guest here with me today. Emily Fletcher is a founder of Ziva Meditation and the creator of Ziva Online. So you may have heard of her, but more importantly, she is what I consider a meditation angel. Not only because she has a soothing voice and her striking beauty, but because of her approach to the art and science of meditation that makes her such a gift from the heavens. She is like, I've tried so many meditations, and you guys know I preach meditation all the time, and it can be hard. It can be frustrating, and you can even feel like a meditation dropout sometimes if you're just not doing it right. So I wanted you to hear from Emily because you're going to fall in love with her instantly like I did, but she is just, she's one of us, you guys. Like, she is a high achieving woman. She has done it all. She's been on Broadway. She has her own company that's growing, and she's pregnant right now with her baby at 38. So she's one of us, and she can really help us to understand some of the science behind meditation, but also how we can implement it into our lives. So Emily, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It feels like such a perfect fit of where I am in my life and what I'm doing and these tools that I've been acquiring. It feels like such a synergistic relationship. So I'm really thrilled to be here, and I'm excited to dive in. I feel like we have so much to talk about between like anti-aging benefits of meditation, the way it improves your productivity, pregnancy, parenthood. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and I'm super excited to have you. That's why I reached out because, as you know, we were talking before we jumped on here. I work with a lot of high achieving women. These are women at the top of their careers. They're leaders in their community. They're leading in their family now. They're being amazing moms. And most of them are fully aware, like they're very educated. They're aware of the benefits behind meditation. They know they should be doing it, but they're still not doing it. One reason or another. I know that you've had this experience in your own life, and you've worked with thousands of high achieving women who've had the same experience. So can you talk a little bit about what you found? Why is this? Why are we not meditating, even though we know we should?
Yeah. So the science is in, okay. There's over 6,000 peer-reviewed scientific studies from Stanford, Harvard Medical School. You don't have to meditate, but you can't write it off anymore as hippy dippy nonsense. It's like, you don't have to exercise, but you can't say that exercise doesn't work or that it's not good for you. Okay. Science is in. And this is the $1 million question. It's like, we know we should be doing it, so why aren't we? And there's a few different answers to that. And I'd say the first answer is that most of us think that we should already know how to do it. Because meditation is simple, we assume that we should just magically already have the skill. But the reality is, meditation really is like any other skill. It takes some training. It takes a technique that's designed for you. It takes a way to gauge your progress and your success. But because it's simple, people think they should already magically know how to do it. And then their meditation looks like this. They're like, okay, I heard meditation is good for me. Let me just sit down and close my eyes and be like, okay, brain, stop thinking. Sure would like a snack. Snacks are delicious. Oh, I forgot to check my kid's homework. Oh my gosh, I have to pick him up from practice. Oh, now I'm thinking about everything I have to do. Oh, no, I'm thinking about everything I have to do. Oh, I suck at meditation and I quit. And that is the beginning and the end of most people's meditation career. And it makes me sad because they potentially robbed themselves of a lifetime of bliss and fulfillment and better productivity, better performance, because they're judging themselves based on misinformation. Okay, so here's some really good news. If you have ever tried to meditate and felt like a meditation failure because you couldn't clear your mind, I want you to listen up. Okay, because this one piece of information could change your meditation career. The mind thinks involuntarily, just like the heart beats involuntarily. I'll say that again for dramatic effect. Okay, the mind thinks involuntarily, just like the heart beats involuntarily. So trying to give your brain a command to shut up is as impactful as trying to give your heart a command to stop beating. It does not work. And yet this is the criteria by which most people are judging their meditation careers. So the really good news at Ziva is that you can get all these benefits that I'm going to be talking about today about meditation, even if you still have thoughts in your mind. This is not an exercise in clearing your mind. This is not an exercise in how still you can be for 15 minutes a day. This is an exercise in giving your body deep healing rest so you can be more awake, more productive, more alive in the rest of your life.
Beautiful. I love that, because that is something that I hear all the time. So I can't turn my mind off. I'm not that kind of personality. I'm too fast paced. And then I have the beauty, the one I love the most is I meditate while I'm working out. What do you have to say about that? Like that, I know that can't be quite right.
Okay, so let's talk about this. I hear this all day, every day. When I tell people I'm a meditation teacher, they're like, yeah, cool. Exercise is my meditation, or cooking is my meditation, or Facebook is my meditation. And I'm like, wrong. Because no one's meditation. And by the way, neither is exercise or cooking. Now, what people are saying is exercise relaxes me, cooking relaxes me. And that's lovely, but so does wine, so does Netflix, and that's not the same thing as meditation. So meditation is actually called meditation. That's why it has its own word. But I'll talk about what's actually happening, like what the brain signature is and what's happening to your state of consciousness when you do it in a minute. But the simplest definition of meditation is that it's a stress relieving tool. But where this gets complicated is that there are thousands of different styles of meditation. And so what people are saying is, when they're like, oh, exercise is my meditation, they're saying like, oh, I'm present, I'm not on my phone, I feel like ideas come to me when I'm working out, which is all great. But exercise is actually exciting your nervous system. It is increasing your metabolic rate. It is speeding everything in your body up. Whereas meditation, the style that I teach at Ziva, you are de-exciting your nervous system, and you're actually de-exciting your metabolic rate, which, don't worry, it doesn't mean you're going to gain weight. Okay. Metabolic rate is the rate with which the body consumes oxygen. So your breathing starts to decrease quite precipitously, very quickly. And basically what we're doing is that we're inducing a state of consciousness that's giving your body rest that's 2 to 5 times deeper than sleep.
Wow.
Let's say that again for dramatic effect. In Ziva meditation, you are inducing a state of consciousness that is giving your body rest that is somewhere between 2 to 5 times deeper than sleep. So a 15-minute meditation is about the equivalent of an hour nap, and you don't have the sleep hangover on the other side. So if you've
That
ever
right there is incredible, because one of the things that I've been taking some genetics courses, and sleep is one of the things that we've been talking about lately. And one of the studies that we were analyzing the other day was about sleep. And if you lose just like you're supposed to sleep 7 to 9 hours a night, if you lose just 2 hours of sleep, it's the equivalent in productivity of having 2 beers or 2 alcoholic beverages. And that is like your brain and your body productivity. And we don't notice that. So we kind of like downgrade what we expect of ourselves to think that we can get by on less. And I know like it's hard to fit in more hours of sleep sometime. And, to have something like a hack like that, like this is like 15 minutes, you're saying is equivalent to 1 hour of sleep. So that's like getting time back. You're going to put in 15, you're going to get a 45-minute like bonus out of it. That's pretty amazing.
That's a great way of thinking about it. And especially for people when they are new moms, it's like sleep is not always up to you. And sometimes your kid is sick or your kid wakes you up. And so sometimes you're not going to get that 7 to 9 hours. So what do you do instead? I know it seems even like 15 minutes is so much to take, but if you don't have, like Tony Robbins says, if you don't have 15 minutes, you don't have a life, right? Like if you can't get someone to help you for 15 minutes, like we have other issues we gotta address. If you need to sneak away to your car, if you need to, tell your
lock
kids,
yourself in the mom, just lock yourself in the bathroom.
let's go to the bathroom, like just make it happen 15 minutes. But like you said, it's like that boosting of an hour. And let's say you did get 7 to 9 hours of sleep and then you meditate on top of that, then it becomes like your superhero patch, then it's just like, oh, I feel like it's like the anti-beer, you have
exactly.
even more brain computing power and physical computing power.
That is pretty impactful. I love that you do that Tony Robbins statement, but also isn't there like a yoga saying that like if you don't have 20 minutes to meditate, you need to meditate for an hour?
Yeah. If you don't have time to sit in meditation for 20 minutes, then you should sit for an hour. I think there's a Dalai Lama quote where he says, if I have so much to do today, I must make sure that I meditate for 2 hours instead of 1.
Yeah. And it's what they're really saying is you're going to get that increase in productivity.
That's right. And our theme song at Ziva, like our full slogan is stress less, accomplish more. And so here's the reality, right? Because we all think I'm too busy to meditate, which is the other reason why we're not doing it. And this is the big one, is that in addition to not taking the time to get the training where you really do see the return on investment, people convince themselves that they're too busy to meditate. We see meditation like it's like a luxury item, like it's like a pedicure for your brain. It's like, oh, well, when I get around to it, when I have some extra time, then I'll start that meditation thing. But you guys, we have to change this. Stress is being called the black plague of our century. Stress
Mhm.
is responsible for somewhere between 80 to 90% of all doctors' visits. This is new research coming out of Harvard
Yes,
Medical
yes. So
School.
we were just talking about that on one of our coaching calls, actually.
Yeah, so like
Stress is at
stress,
the root of pretty much every condition.
yeah, it creates chronic inflammation in the body, which is the basis of all disease. And so, or at least according to Ayurveda. And the reality is stress is making us stupid. It's making us sick, and it is making us slow. So if you believe that stress makes you stupid, and if you believe that meditation is the most powerful stress relieving tool that we have, which it is, then this argument of I'm too busy to meditate doesn't hold up anymore. And I'm really sorry if that's been your excuse so far, but it's time to throw that out the window. And here's the reality. You're going to get so much more done, and you're going to enjoy your life so much more if you take this time for you. And I know how hard that can be, because especially as women, especially as entrepreneurs, especially as moms, it's so tempting to want to put everyone else's needs before your own. But you guys, you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
And your kids don't need a stressed out, angry version of you. Your husband doesn't want a depleted version of you. Your coworkers don't want an angry, frazzled version of you. They want you at your best, you happy, happy wife, happy life, right? They want you filled up, creative, rested. And I have even a lot of single mom, like executive single mom clients, and they have kids that are like 5, 6, 7 years old, and their kids will actually start to call them on it. They'll be like, Mom, did you meditate today? You're really mean today. Or
I
like,
love it. I
like,
love kids are so honest. Like they
they're
will
so
tell you
good.
exactly what needs to happen and when.
Yeah. And they're like, Mommy's a lot nicer after she does that meditation thing, so don't interrupt her. Or like, my girlfriend really likes to have sex a lot more after she meditates, so just let her do her weird voodoo thing.
That's, that really is so important. It's like, even if you think about, if you've ever like had like a rough night, you didn't get enough sleep, you are angry, or you react more to the traffic on the freeway. You react more if your husband kind of like puts the coffee cup down in the wrong place. Like you're like a totally different person, and you're very irrational.
Yes,
And
and that
it's
is a great analogy. It's
yeah.
something that I like to use, of like the best analogy I have to describe what it feels like to be in higher states of consciousness is basically what it feels like to be more or less awake. How do you feel when you've only slept for 4 hours? Like, how well are you able to articulate things, come up with ideas, versus how do you feel? How do you perform when you have slept for 8 or 9 hours? That difference is really a great way to illustrate what it feels like to be a meditator or not.
Yeah, and even like, especially for moms, like kids do things all the time. Like they're very improvising, and they'll do things that may or may not grate on your nerves. And chances of it grating on your nerves more is going to be when you're tired, when you're depleted, when you're stressed out. And, I know from experience, because I am a hard charging mom, I do a lot of things. And every once in a while, I won't get the sleep, or I won't get the restoration that I need. And in Paxton, my son will come in and do something that is adorable, but it'll just like piss me off at the moment. And so, you're just like not as present, and you're not as like fun loving. I feel like you're not as fun loving when you're not fully restored and rejuvenated. And so in our practice, like we always put rest and restoration in the same category. So it's not just about sleep. It's really about doing things to restore. And I think that meditation is huge in that. But one thing I want to ask you, because one of the things that gets interchange sometimes, and I know in your teaching you really help to clarify the differences between meditation and mindfulness.
Yeah. So in the Ziva technique, we actually teach like a trifecta of tools. We teach mindfulness, we teach meditation, and we teach manifesting. And I'll talk about all three, but where it really gets confusing is mindfulness and meditation, because a lot of people are using those as synonyms, like you said, but they're not actually the same thing. So most of what's out there on the internet, most of what people are calling meditation these days, I would actually put into the mindfulness category. So most of the apps, most of the YouTube videos, most of the drop-in studios, most of them are offering some version of mindfulness. And how I would define mindfulness is the art of bringing your awareness into the present moment. And it's the
Okay.
beauty of coming back to the now. And you can do that through your breath. You can do that through guided visualization. You can do that through body senses. But anywhere you're directing your focus, which is more of a left brain waking state activity, I would put that in the category of mindfulness. And that's very good at dealing with your stress in the right now. So like my boss yelled at me today, I listened to this headspace for 10 minutes and I feel better in the right now. Great. Useful. Kind of like taking a Tylenol when you have a headache. Now, what meditation is doing, and most people are not talking about or using the term meditation as I use it as Ziva, what we teach is pretty unique. In Ziva, not only are you accessing that fourth state of consciousness, which is different than waking, sleeping, or dreaming, not only are you inducing that deep rest, but that rest is also very healing. It's very restorative, as you say. And that rest is getting rid of your stress from the past. So mindfulness, dealing with your stress in the right now. Meditation, getting rid of all that stress that we have stored in our cellular memory, all that stuff we have stored in our body. So the dog that barked in your face when you were 10, your parents' divorce when you were 12, your breakup when you were 16, the college you didn't get into, all that stuff has been stored in your body and it has to go somewhere. And so really meditation is the main course of what we teach at Ziva. And it's 8 days of the 15-day training is all devoted to meditation, because it's so different than what most people think it is. It has nothing to do with focusing. It has nothing to do with clearing your mind. It has everything to do with healing your body. And it kind of feels like a nap sitting up. It's like a delicious, supercharged power nap sitting up. And then on the other side, you're more awake, more productive, more conscious. So you're able to really perform at the top of your game.
Awesome. Yeah, I was talking to someone in one of our masterminds, and she was at a conference with you, Emily, and she said that she looked over and she thought you were sleeping, but then you mentioned how you're just meditating and you felt so refreshed. So it's pretty funny that you.
I always think people must think I'm so rude because like sometimes speakers, but conferences, they go all day and parties all night. And so at like 3 or 4, I'm like, I gotta go. And so I just drop in. I think people like, I think she's narcoleptic or something, but I actually meditated at a Tony Robbins concert,
Oh my.
13,000 people in a stadium. And I was like, bye.
But that's so awesome that like you could just pull it out whenever you need it.
Once you have training and once you have a mantra and once you have these tools, you can meditate with your kids screaming in the next room. You can meditate at work. You can meditate on a plane, on a bus. So if your excuse for not meditating is I don't have 15 minutes of quiet, well, Ziva's going to take that and throw that excuse out the window too.
That is so cool. I'm so glad you hit on that, because I think that is like we have this like thought that we have to like put on a robe and do the patchouli oil and play this music and have this like sanctuary that we go to meditate, and that's not realistic, right, for many of us. I mean, if you have the luxury of that, then more power to you, but many of us don't. Like, we don't have a special dedicated altar and our special theme that we're doing. It has to be fit into our lifestyle.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome. So you kind of touched a little bit on some of the neuroscience and some of the benefits of meditation. Can you talk a little bit about like some of the neuroscience behind meditation?
Sure. So, neuroscience is really catching up to what these Indian dudes have been saying for 6,000 years. So it's an exciting time to be alive, because we can prove not only that meditation is good for you, but also how meditation is or how different styles of meditation are impacting the brain differently. So in mindfulness, which is sort of like the appetizer of the Ziva technique, you are directing your focus. It's a left brain waking state activity. And in mindfulness, a smaller part of the brain lights up, but very, very bright. So it's sort of similar to the technique where you're focusing, versus in the meditation portion, the whole brain lights up, but not as bright. And what's happening there when the whole brain lights up is that you're increasing neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to change itself, to heal itself. You're increasing neurogenesis, which is the brain's ability to generate new brain cells, which interestingly, we used to think, or not we, scientists used to think like that your brain only was able to create neurogenesis, to create new brain cells until mid-20s, until it was fully developed. And then it was just a slow decline to the grave. But that's not
so sad.
so sad, but it's actually not true at all. You can have neurogenesis well into your 80s and 90s if you're getting sunlight, you're exercising, you're eating real food, you have human interaction, and you're meditating. And it's not just meditation. It's not just food. It's not just sunshine. Like, you really have to have the full pie. But if you have all these elements that we know that we need from a functional medicine point of view, then the brain can continue to grow and to expand its consciousness, like up until basically we die, which is really exciting.
And really important for many of us moms who had children later in life. You know, I had my son at 39, you're 38 and ready to have a baby. And so we really do have to have our brain function and our physical function well into the future if we want to be there for their weddings and to meet our grandchildren and to really live our life fully until
Yeah.
we die, right? We don't want to be in a home. We don't want to not have control of our mind if we live to 100. We want like 99, day 99.364. We want that to be a fun-filled, purpose-filled day.
Yes. And there are like monks in India and people in India where they just call their death date. They're like, next Wednesday, meet me on the Ganges. And they're just meditating. And they just drop their body into the river. This concept of like getting sick and dying, that they have to be together, is it's become the norm because it is the habit in America. But I don't think that it's natural. I think that if you are living a life, both mentally and physically, where you're acting in accordance with nature and you're eating and meditating and exercising, you can actually, like, the body can stay quite relevant. It's going to change, but the body can be useful and relevant. It's when we get stagnant. It's when we get stuck. It's when we allow the stress to overwhelm our bodies and we don't deal with things at the root cause. And we just try to mask the symptoms with pharmaceuticals. This is when we slow the body down and we tax it unnecessarily. And that equals getting sick and dying. We all got to die. I mean, so far, 100% death rate. But what if you get better and better and better until the day that you die? Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, exactly. It's all about expanding our health span and decreasing our disease span. You know, we talk about that a lot in our practice. So you mentioned the 3M approach. So it's a triangular approach, the mindfulness, the meditation, and then you kind of touched on manifestation. Can you talk a little bit about that? So I think that would be of a lot of interest to our audience.
Yeah. So I know that the word manifesting gets a little bit of a bad rap, especially with high performers and high achievers, because they're like, oh God, you want me to like get high and secret my dreams or something? Like, I have to actually work for my dreams. And I get it. Yes, we all have to take inspired action. And yes, we do have to ultimately do work. But what happens a lot of the time is that people get stuck on this rat wheel of this like work. You know, I caffeinate all day, I drink all night, and I just work and work and work, and I work myself into a hole, and I'm just exhausted, and I haven't even stopped to reevaluate what my goals are, or why am I even doing this? And so if you add in time every day to manifest, all I mean when I say manifesting is consciously creating a life you love, curating the life that you actually want to have. You know, so a lot of us, we made goals when we were 9 years old, and then we just started blindly working towards them, and we never reevaluated. Or, you know, you graduate from college, you're like, I'm going to do this career.
Yeah.
And 10 years later, you're like, do I still even want to be in this career? So to me, manifesting is a multi-step process, but the most important step is getting clear on what it is that you actually want to create. You know, specifically, how much money do you want to make? How much sex do you want to be having a week? What do you want your relationship to be with your body? You know, what kind of adventures do you want to have in your life? And then what we do is that there's a little 2-minute period at the end of the meditation where we have to keep our eyes closed so that we're not shocking our brain and our optic nerve. It's sort of like a little warm-up period. And so I teach people very specific manifesting tools to ask the question, what is it that I want to create? And this is really the most important part. And this is really the only trick to manifesting, is we then get into the feeling space as if the dream is happening now. Because what a lot of us are mistakenly doing is that we think we're manifesting, we think we're praying, we think we're dreaming, but we're actually just complaining, right? When we're just like, I just need to lose weight, and I just need a boyfriend, and I need more money. And we like have these like ambiguous blanket complaints. And we think, well, why does she have a boyfriend? I don't have a boyfriend. Why don't I have more money? She's making more money than me. And that's not manifesting. That's watering the weeds. When what we need to be doing is watering the flowers. What we need to do is get into the feeling space of what it feels like to wake up next to the person of your dreams. What does it feel like to look into your bank account and feel so proud of the abundance that you've created because you've changed so many lives in the process? What does it feel like to actually wake up in your dream vacation location? So that is the point of manifesting. And then to do that right after you've meditated, right after you've accessed that source energy, is very, very powerful. And what I've found is that the combination of meditation and manifesting is so much more powerful than either one alone. Like, you could meditate all day, but if you're not clear about what it is you want to create in your life, it's very hard for nature to deliver those dreams to you. And conversely, and this is what more people are doing, you could make a million vision boards. You could, dream all day, but if you don't believe that you deserve your dream, it ain't coming. If your
Yeah.
body is riddled with stress and you don't believe that you deserve it, again, it's very hard for nature to deliver it to you. So what I found is that the combination of the two, meditation and manifesting, my students report that the gap between their desires and their desires becoming manifest gets shorter and shorter. It feels like magic, but it's not magic. It's a
That is
return on investment.
awesome. I just love the way you describe that, because we've been doing a lot of work just personally with law of attraction and really working on getting into that feeling of how we want to feel. And it really is very powerful. It really helps you to make those decisions, and it demystifies like what manifestation really is and what law of attraction really means. But I love the combination of putting it together with meditation that just makes it just packages up nice and seems like it would be so much more powerful. So Emily, you've really made this whole meditation conversation flow and be very easy, and we can really see the benefits, but you've actually made it very simple to access your trainings online. Can you talk a little bit about Ziva Online? And this is, I'm telling you guys right now, if you work with me, it's going to be mandatory that you do Ziva Online. And if you're not working with me, it's the one prescription that I would give you to enhance your life, because this is really the foundation. If we can remove stress, reduce stress, give you a way to cope with stress and really create that restoration, then you're going to build on that in increasing your health. So can you tell us a little bit about Ziva Online? I'm on day 3, just so everybody knows I'm doing it too. So I'm super excited about it.
Good. Yeah, and I just want to riff on what you said a little bit, is that I 1,000% agree that if we think about meditation as the hardware upgrade, it's the thing that's actually defragging your brain computer. That allows you to run whatever software you have. So all these other programs like meal programs, exercise programs, goal achieving programs, it's so much easier to commit to that software when your hardware can handle it. If your brain and your body are stressed out and frazzled and tired and exhausted, and your immune function isn't operating as it's meant, then it's very hard to act in accordance with what you know. We all know we should be eating more vegetables and exercising every day and getting sunshine. Like, we know it. Yeah. But we don't act in accordance with what we know. We act in accordance with the baseline level of stress in our bodies. And so to commit this time, which is not that much, right? It's like 15 to 20 minutes a day for 15 days. You commit that time, you're actually up-leveling the very machine that is responsible for every decision that you make in every single cell in your body. So everything not only gets better, but it gets easier. So I love that you're making it the prescription. I love that you're making it mandatory, because I think the people are going to get a huge return on the investment from all of your other amazing programs.
Yeah, and like, a lot of women come to me with hormone issues, let's say, and we don't just give you hormones. We're really looking to optimize your hormones. And one of the main things we have to do is the stress reduction. And so I can give you, cortisol managers and adaptogenic herbs and supplements, but really the thing that's going to give the biggest impact is if you can reduce that stress from the source. And so the way it's packaged, and you guys know I don't recommend a lot of things to you. I really do covet what I do recommend, and I don't recommend anything I don't do, but this is something that is so much more valuable than anything else I've seen out there. And Emily, like I said, she is an angel, you guys. She's amazing. And she's one of us. We can totally relate to you, and you understand where we're coming from, our perspective, and what we need. So, thank you so much. And like you said, it's a 15-day course.
Yeah, so we'll tell you about it, because you asked, but I just didn't answer your question. Okay, so Ziva Online. So basically, I've been teaching in person for 6 or 7 years now. I've taught over 7,000 people to meditate. Oscar, Grammy, Tony, Golden Globe, Emmy Award winners, NBA players, hedge fund managers. And they come to me either in New York or in LA when they're ready to really perform at the top of their game. And I started people would come to me like, my mom needs this, she's in Idaho, my uncle needs this in Brazil, you know, my aunt can't travel to you. And I felt selfish, like having these tools that I knew were changing people's lives, that I knew were helping them to perform, and yet like not everyone has access to a teacher. And this was right around the time that technology was getting better, online courses were becoming a thing. And so anyway, we created a course about 6 years ago, but we've taken everything we've learned and up leveled it. There's better technology, there's better neuroscience, I'm a better teacher, and we're just right now launching this brand new course called Ziva Online, which I'm so proud of. And it's 15 days of training. The first 3 days you're learning mindfulness, so that's what you've done so far. And the training's only 15 to 20 minutes a day, and you can do it in your own time. You can do it first thing in the morning, last thing at night. Like, it's just, you can fit it into your schedule. And then days 4 through 12 is all about the meditation, and in that, people are given a mantra, which is sort of like the key that operates the car of Ziva meditation. It's the thing that makes it so easy, so effortless, so enjoyable. It's the thing that induces that deep healing rest. And then once you become self-sufficient in that, then days 13 through 15, you're learning the manifesting. And the whole course really is a matriculation. It's designed to make you self-sufficient. So this is not a challenge. This is not an app. This is not an addiction model. I don't want you dependent on me to meditate, because what if you don't have Wi-Fi? What if you don't have headphones? What if your phone dies? The thing is, any tool is only as good as if you actually pick it up and use it. And if all you need to do to meditate is this, just close your eyes, then you can do it anywhere. Literally, like I said, on a bus, on a plane, your kid naps for 10 minutes, you're breastfeeding, you just close your eyes and you do it anywhere, anytime. So once you graduate from that training, you're going to have a twice-a-day meditation practice that you can take with you for life. And you're going to have access. We have this beautiful online classroom, this online community, and you'll have access to that as well. Not only for the 15 days, but actually for 6 months, so that you really have like a nice runway and you feel strong in your practice to move forward.
That is absolutely amazing. I love that, like, in 15 days, you can learn the most valuable practice that you're going to take with you all the way to the grave. And we, as parents, we can even teach our children to start meditating as well.
On this, like, I get questions every day, like, when are you going to do meditation for kids? And it's not really like, I wouldn't say it's my expertise, it's not my forte, but I'd say the less stressed you are, that's going to impact your kids. And, you know, I'm working on at least like a supplement video for parents where we could say, I could give you just some tips and tricks if your kids want to meditate with you. But that's something that we're definitely thinking about and in the works, because I know that kids need it right now.
Yeah. I think just like you said, they kind of like, if you are in a stressed energy, everyone in your house is going to absorb that energy. So I think by mom or dad meditating, or both mom and dad meditating, the kids are going to benefit from that just by osmosis, right? Kids don't have all the baggage that we have, right? Kids don't have that back end stress, at least if they're younger kids, they don't. So I think that, like, just providing that calm, energetic, happy environment is pretty much what they really need. But it'd be great to see what you do come up with once you do get something going for the kids as well.
And one thing I'd love to share is that I taught my goddaughter to meditate. She was 6 when I taught her, and we did it face to face. And now she's 11, and she's teaching mindfulness classes at a wellness center in my hometown. And I was like, just
wow.
Proud. It's like mindfulness for kids, and she also taught it at her school. I mean, she's very advanced, but
wow, she should do the course.
Well, we actually did a video, and so I'm going to re-releasing that soon in our Ziva tribe. So, but anyway, the thing I wanted to share is I was interviewing her about her experience, and I was like, you know, what made you want to learn? And she said, well, you know, it was watching my mom meditate that made me want to learn. But what was the most fascinating thing that I had not thought about before is that she learned that because her mom was taking responsibility for her own stress and her own state of mind, it absolved my goddaughter of any responsibility. Like, if her mom was angry, she didn't think that was her fault anymore. She's like, Mom, you didn't meditate today, so you're angry. That's on you. Versus I think kids, because we're all narcissistic and we're all egomaniacs when we're kids, we think if mommy's mad, it's our fault.
Yeah.
Stressed, I did something wrong. But if you're showing them that I'm actually taking responsibility for my own mental and emotional health, then they can see, oh, she did this thing, she feels better. She didn't do that, she feels worse, versus them taking it personally. And that was a big, big revelation to me. I didn't think about that as a benefit.
That is huge. I love it. Awesome. Well, I won't keep you too much longer, but you guys, it's non-negotiable. We've got to start meditating. So I'm going to put the link below the video. It's super simple. You just follow the link, you sign up, and you can start meditating as soon as tomorrow, the next day after they sign up, they get to start, or they start the
Well,
same day.
it depends on, like, right now we're doing an interactive launch that starts on February 24th. So we're going to have thousands of people from around the world moving through it together. But right
Awesome.
after that, so if they sign up after that, then we have like an evergreen version where people
Okay, perfect. So if you guys are watching this before February 24th, 2018, then you're going to start all together. And if you're watching it after, you can jump right in. So you guys, let's do this together. Let's make the world a happier, healthier, more productive place. Emily, thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, have a great one, you guys. And, like I said, we have the power to do, be, and have anything we want. So let's get at it. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.